Boo. The last video or podcast or audio or whatever, however way you listened, I said, this next one, I'm going to try dressing nicer. I lied. I did run today though. So that's a plus. I didn't get up at 6 a.m. like I did earlier this week, but I did go after I dropped Greenlee off at school. I got some work done here at the house, and then I went to Orange Theory, trying to get back into Orange Theory. And then when I got home, I was feeling motivated and I thought, you know what? It is a nice day. It's kind of cold out, but it's like sunny. I'm going to go out there and run. I'm going to go for a run. So I did. I went for like a little 2 mile run on top of my Orange Theory workout. So a little tired. I got my hair done yesterday. So I still have like, I wear my hair black. I got still got the dye streak around my forehead right there. If you can look closely, you can see it. You can only scrub it so much to get it out before it like kind of hurts. So I just am like, accept it. It'll be 2 days of having some dye streak on my head and it'll go away. So today, what am I talking about today? I left off talking about how I don't really care enough to try to get ready each day, which is still true. I mean, it's only been a couple days since I said that. Still true. I am trying to like find little ways to put myself together, but they're all in my head. Like I keep telling myself, you're gonna do this, this, and this, and then I still don't do it. But I'm hoping that maybe I can like start to organize soon. I'm organizing my thoughts, I think, is the number one thing for me right now. And that's been a blessing talking to people like all of you listening, or one listener, two listeners. I don't know how many are on, but it's a blessing definitely to get my feelings out in this medium and talk, even if I'm like making statements that I won't stick to. Like, I'm going to make myself look presentable. No, I won't. I did buy like a matching set I wore the other day. I have another one. So I have like two matching sets, which makes me feel when I'm wearing sweatpants like I'm a little bit presentable. Uh, so yeah, the other day went and got my hair done, and I decided I need to set some goals for myself. I am not really getting up and like going through my day with you're gonna do this and this and moving forward. I don't know how to explain it. I don't have any goals. I get up and I take care of Greenlee and I do what I need to do for Greenlee, but nothing for myself. And that's always been part of the problem. The last couple of years, it's been a big issue is I don't really do much for myself. I do mostly things for Greenlee, which is fine. That's my daughter, and I love her very much, and I will continue living that way. I'm sure I will, even if it's not healthy. But I think as someone who sets goals, I need to set a goal for myself and show her that I do things for myself too. So I'm doing that in two ways. One, I am trying to get back into running in a healthy way. Like I ran today, I ran the other day. I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. But I'm trying to not wear a watch when I run. That's my commitment to myself. So if you're listening and you're a runner, and maybe you struggle with the same thing I do. Not wearing a watch seems like, so what? Don't wear a watch. I just time it on my phone and I go. And the reason I do that is because if I wear a watch, then I can constantly look down at my wrist and see how slow I'm going. And how, wow, 2 years ago this time you'd be running this way faster, 2 minutes per mile faster, and you'd feel way better than you feel right now. You feel like crap right now. And I beat myself up. I beat myself up, beat myself up. And so I decided step one of getting back into running will be no watches allowed. I can carry my phone to time it and listen to some music or my audiobooks. I'm really big into horror audiobooks, which is kind of weird, but I love horror books and movies. So I will turn on a podcast, turn on a book, music, and just go for my run and not wear a watch. So I've been doing that. I've really stuck to it for about a week and a half, and I'm going to try my best to continue that cycle. And hopefully my goal is by summertime to do a race, but not race, because that's something that I've always struggled with. Do a race where I do it for fun. Wow, that's crazy. You can do things for fun and cross the finish line and just know I did it and know I had to put the work in to get there. Because before, as a runner, and I know I talked about this 2 episodes ago, as a runner that has run her whole life, the act of doing a 5K or 10K or even a half marathon wasn't an accomplishment because I ran so much that like a half marathon, 13 miles, that's Saturday morning. That's just, I get up Saturday and I run 13 miles. So now that I am like really accepting where I'm at, where my body's at, what I look like, what I feel like, and know, hey, you're not going to run it fast. And you, frankly, you can't run that far right now. I think that that might be a goal for me to be able to say, look, I started at the bottom. I trained my butt off and I might not be fast, but I'm going to cross the finish line and finish 13.1 miles. So that's a big goal for me that I'm starting now. And I'm hoping to like accomplish that. And I really am hoping I can bring Greenlee, my daughter, along on the journey to kind of see, because I'm worried that my anxieties and the things that I've done in my life are kind of bleeding onto her. And, you know, our kids are sponges and they soak things up. My daughter is a competitive dancer, and I'm noticing she, backing up, she's very, very good. But that's because I push her probably too hard, if I'm being honest. And I'm very competitive. If I do something, I want to be good at it. That's how I've always been. And so that's how I was when I like, let's really go back. I always admired theater kids. I think going on stage is scary. Like that's hard. I think acting is cool and I think singing is awesome. I wish I could sing. So when I got to college and I was done running on the cross country and track team, I saw an audition notice for Hairspray the musical at Ferris State, and it was like the musical, like the theater department was going to do it, and it was a campus-wide search for cast members, and you audition and whatever. I had never been in a play. The most singing I'd ever done was karaoke. And I just thought that sounded so cool to be in a show. And I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to like suck at it. So I like worked my butt off. I practiced dance moves. I listened to music. My husband, who's a music industry management major who plays guitar and knows music, helped me learn to sing and find notes. And I went to the audition and I got a big role. And then I did theater for a while. But that was another thing that was like, that was my competitiveness in me. Like I started to wonder, do I love theater and being on stage, or do I just want the part? I want to get it. And that's kind of what I'm like. Well, that bleeds onto your children, guys. So my daughter is in dance, and at first she started doing dance, and you know, it was just dance class. She was 2, and then she sucked at it. So she's 2. At 3, she sucked at it. 4, she sucked at it. 5, she joins a dance team, like the competitive team, and she sucked at it. But she got a solo because we do she does pageants like I do because we're competitive assholes. And I thought, well, let's get her a solo so that way she can enter talent. And it's, you know, something she can work on at home. Well, that turned into her competing the solo, and she won. And looking back at the video, I don't know how she won because it's not very good. But we, you know, both got a taste of, wow, you're pretty good at this. And we started working harder. I found her different coaches. I found her more advanced coaches. I found her private lessons. And next thing you know, our life is revolved around dance. I mean, our whole lives. And Greenlee, I would say, has a lot of me in her. Now, if you know our story, you know that we used a gestational carrier with donor eggs. So it's funny how much your kids can take from you that's not genetic. They just take it from you because you're with them and you're their mom. And she's taken this from me. The competitiveness, she's not mean. She never would be mean. She's happy for her friends. She's competitive against herself. She does not want to hear a score that's not higher than a certain score. She doesn't care if she got 3rd, 5th, 10th. But if they say her score and she reads her score and it's not at a certain level, she's pretty upset. And she's upset at herself. And it makes me feel bad because that's how I act. That's how I treat myself, right? And she sees that. That's sad. Sorry. That's sad. She sees that. She sees mom beat the fuck out of herself. Mom bitching to her dad, my husband, about not running fast enough, being too fat to do blank, and not being able to go do a race anymore because I suck. And she hears how I talk. I'm sure she does, whether even if I try to hide it. And I worry that she's getting a little bit of that too. And I see it at dance competitions. I see it in training. She's trying to land a certain skill right now. That's super difficult. And it's not going to come to her in minutes. And she's gotten it on a tumble track and a trampoline, but she doesn't have it on the floor yet. And she tries to do it all the time. And each week when she has practice in a facility that has like a safe environment for her to do it on the floor, like with a coach, that's all she wants to work on. And she'll work on it and land on her butt like 10 times. And she'll just be furious. And I mean, she's like slamming her fist on the ground. She's like, ah. She wanted to land it. Today was the day, Mom. I wanted to land it today. And she'll like be so mad. She's 7. And I'm like, but the skill is called a front aerial. It's basically a front walkover with no arms. It's advanced. It's not like learning a somersault. And she gets so upset. And I'm like, I find that I'm like, stop, calm down. Like, this is silly. Maybe you'll get it next week. But then I realize she is me. She is me. She has this anxiety about like, I decided I want to get that. I'm going to get it. I want it now. And I'm starting to wonder, do you want the skill? Like, do you actually want that skill? Or do you just want to be able to say you got it? I got it. Because that's what I do. That. And that's what she does. And I think a lot of people don't realize their kids pick up these habits from them. Like, I've got a friend who I love to gossip with. I do. We just love to gossip together. But I've noticed her daughter loves to gossip too. She hears it and she knows, oh, that's what they like to talk about. They sit and have coffee and they talk about that. So that's what she does. She joins in. And honestly, it disarms me because sometimes I'm like, she'll tell me a story and she'll go, so blah, 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 at school happened. And she'll start telling me. And I'm like, oh, tell me more. Because I love gossip. But then I realize this kid is like 9 or 8. And she's like, she knows when she sees Miss Jackie and her mom, ooh, we're going to talk some gossip. That's probably not great, but we don't gossip with her. She just picks it up from her mom. She picks it up. She's like Greenlee picks up this attitude from me. And these are the things I'm trying to change in my life to help with my anxiety and help with some of the issues I've been putting on the back burner for so long. But I want to make sure she sees me accept failure, or not even failure. Wasn't the right word. So I'm not accepting failure. I want her to see me put success, like have a different meaning of success. Like, success does not mean I had a personal record. I won the race. I won my age group. That doesn't have to be success. Success could be just finishing. I want her to start feeling like success is the fact that she has worked her butt off all season and she got on stage and did it. And that she did a good job. And that's success. That is great. And that it doesn't matter what the MC reads on the scorecard. It doesn't matter what place she is, because at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Tell you what, when you get older, no one looks back and says, what place did you get at your dance competition when you were 7? No one fucking cares. And I just want her to I want her to see me redefine success so she can redefine success. I think that's what I'm going through right now. And I'm doing that through running. I'm going to try to not care about pace, not care about how fast I am, and just sign up for a race this spring and do it. And my whole goal is to finish and not walk. Because right now, after having hip surgery just over a year ago, I struggle not to walk on runs. I lost a lot of muscle mass. I lost a ton of my strength and my fitness. So that's what my goal is just to not walk. And I want her to see that. And I want her to see how excited I am when I cross the finish line, even if I'm like 100th in place or whatever. I want her to see that so she can start feeling that way about her stuff too. And then, yeah, hopefully that'll bleed onto her. And maybe we can help form our new generation of kids to not feel the way we feel about success and discipline. Because I think that as millennials, and I know people hate breaking down generations and stuff, millennials, it's statistically proven, have more anxiety than a lot of other generations. We were in this bubble of, you will go to college, you will work this job, you will do this. And it was a little bit different, especially like now, the generation below us, a COVID generation, working from home, new world. And I think I want to help change that for her, because that is something I'm seeing in her every day. And I need to check myself, right? The way I talk to Greenlee. I need to be careful when she's practicing downstairs. Anyone that has a kid that's really good at sports, or really good at a sport or activity, or even in school, really good at math, we'll say, when you go to help them with that activity, you find you turn into coach mom or coach dad, and you're like kind of an asshole. And that's what I'm kind of an asshole. And what's funny is if you ask Greenlee, is mom an asshole when you coach with her? She'd say no, even though she knows I am, because it's very obvious I am. My husband yells at me about it all the time. You're too strict with her. Calm down. But then on top of it all, her biggest fear is me not working with her on this. She likes it. And the other day I said, really, maybe we should take a step back. Maybe mom works with you too much on this and we need to not do this. And she flipped out. No, mom. She said, I'm good because of you. She's 7 and she had that forethought. I'm good because of you. And I said, why do you think that? You're good because you're good. She said, because I know other kids whose mom don't sit with them downstairs for 2 hours, who don't stretch them like you do, who don't buy them the things they need to get better and better. So I know I'm good because of you, and I don't want you to stop practicing with me. Well, that was a reminder that, oh my God, not only does she recognize the work I'm putting in, but I'm right. I'm right that my attitudes and my talk, my self-talk and my talk to her are 1000% bleeding onto her. And I want her to be as healthy and happy as we can. I mean, that's what we want for our kids, right? So I'm really, really, really trying to talk to myself more positively in front of her, to brag a little bit about things I do when she's busy and have conversations with her. I've done that this week. I did that by she got done with dance, chat in the car, and I said, "Hey honey, how was dance?" Show me. And I go, "While you were dancing, I ran 4 miles. I ran 4 whole miles today. And it was really warm outside. It was sunny." And she said, "Good job, mom." And I said, "Thank you." And we had a good talk about it. So I'm trying, instead of saying things like, "Oh, well, while you were at dance, I went for a run. It was hard," which sounds like, why would you talk that way to your kid? When you have an only child, you find you talk to them much more adult than you do when you have multiple kids. But I am trying my best to my husband and to her to talk with more self-love, but then also to let her realize just living your life is good. And it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care how many crowns you win and how many trophies you win, because you're just doing your best. That's all we can ever do, is our best. So that's my talk for today. I will be back next week because I know I can't do another one of these tomorrow. I have a date night tonight. My husband and I are going to dinner. I'm going to actually get dressed up. I think I might actually do my hair and maybe makeup and wear like a cool outfit. I don't know. I don't know where we're going yet. But as usual, comment below if you made it through this video. What do you want to hear? What do you want me to talk about? Want me to talk about more depressing stuff? You want me to talk about Mrs. America, that experience? I've got so many stories about Mrs. America. I mean, a lot of you might not even make it to the end of these videos. I don't know. Either way, thank you if you're still on for listening.